Hi, welcome to this round 1 strategy guide for the Germans. So just before I jump into the actual the campaign, I just thought I'd do a bit of a ranking update. So I recently got promoted to Platinum as Axis, which I'm super chuffed about. I've been grinding the rank games recently, so trying to get promoted, so that's pretty cool. And allies as well, I'm getting slowly clawing my way towards Platinum. We're on 61st place now in gold, so I reckon that's probably about 4 or 5 wins away, roughly. So yeah, we just got into the Platinum, so I'll be making a push now as the Axis to try and hopefully get into the top 10. I don't know how. It's probably, I imagine, quite hard to do. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but it'll be a good challenge anyway. So there we go. But for now, let's jump back into our game. Right, so Russia have moved. This is what I tend to see nowadays. Jumping in as the German player on round 1. So I'm probably going to show a few variations of what you could do here. It depends on how aggressive you're feeling, because Germany have got a lot of options. This particular turn is going to take the longest. Out of all 5 nations, this is the longest one, because Germany have got so many things to do. They've got a lot of units to move and a lot of potential attacks. So we'll go through this as best we can. So in this video I'll be showing my preference. So I will show options for players if you fancy a bit more of an aggressive strategy or you want to focus more on Africa. My game plan as Germany is to take out Russia as quickly as possible. I like to kill Russia ideally by round 3 or 4. If I can do that, I'm happy, because that obviously means Russia out of the game, and you can focus all Germany's resources on taking down Britain. So if you get Russia dead by round 3 or 4, I'd say you're doing pretty well. And you'd hope at that point as well that Japan will be making moves, or possibly even taking India by that point. If you've done those 2 things by round 3 or 4, you're dead set for a victory. Now, as I like to go purely for Russia, I build tanks, purely tanks, and an artillery. That's all I build, because I want to be in there quick. I know attacking forward, it's better in the long run, I suppose, if you're attacking with there's a video on this on YouTube. Attacking with an infantry and an artillery is better than attacking with just 1 tank. However, tanks have got certain advantages, as in speed. I'm trying to blitz through the Russian player as quickly as possible, not give them time to build up as much as the longer they sit, the worse it is for Germany, because you want to just well, not necessarily, obviously you are going to eventually destroy them, but the quicker you can kill them, the quicker you can focus on another nation and start working on Britain and things. So the quicker they die, the better. So I like to get 6 tanks in. I'm going to make just a rush towards Moscow. That's the idea. Now, a variation I've seen some people do. We'll just quickly go. Well, actually, no, I'll explain it on this phase. There is a way to sort of, if you fancy going for Africa, if you want to be more aggressive towards Africa early on, to take away a few IPC away from Britain, there is an option to be super aggressive and use these 2 fighters, take out this destroyer. You'd build an aircraft carrier, and then so you could place the aircraft carrier in this sea zone, and the fighters would land here next turn. This would free up this battleship to take out this cruiser, and also you could use a transport here to drop this infantryman or another one into Gibraltar, which limits the options for the Allies to fly in planes. Obviously this is a good landing zone for the Allies to shove their fighters across, especially from America. They can reach this Gibraltar, and then obviously that lets them ship fighters around the map, causing problems. So that is an option. With that, you want to be using these 2 subs to take out these transports. That obviously prevents any immediate American reinforcements to Morocco, this province here. So that's an option. It's something I don't do personally. I'd rather have these fighters up here. I don't want to spend on water as well. I'd rather be spending purely on land, because again, my objective is to take out Russia quickly. But it's an option. Now with these sea battles, you've got pretty limited navy as Germany. You've got some air support. Now there are options here. It depends how risky you want to play it, because there is a potential to do 1 sub. You could move. I'll just quickly end the phase so we can just see. So you could potentially do 1 sub here, 1 sub here. As I mentioned before, you could use the battleship to take out this cruiser, use the fighter to take out the destroyer, Then you'd be throwing everything else, this sub here, this cruiser, these fighters, in to try and destroy the remainder of the British fleet. So if you're lucky, you could take out everything the Allies have in the Atlantic. Me personally, I don't like to do this because obviously you're taking a big risk. If you don't get the dice rolls, you could be in a pretty bad situation. I think it's more important early on to take these 2 transports out. You could take out this, but if you look, it's the same defense with an extra transport as a reward for killing it. So this is by far the better target to go for. It also means that obviously you're preventing these 4 units from hitting your African territories. So this is my preferred way of doing this. So I use these 2 subs to take out this transport, these 2 transports and the destroyer, and then I've got the other sub, the cruiser, and 2 fighters to take out everything here. You more often than not win this battle. I think it's very unlikely, I would say, to lose this fight. It's possible, obviously, but it's more likely you'll win this one. So yeah, the majority of the time you'll come out on top here. And you're not too concerned. I think the main thing is you want to, hopefully you'll have some fighters alive afterwards. I'm not concerned about the cruiser or the sub. I'm not going to use them. I never really purchase C units as Germany until the later game when I'm pressuring Britain. But for the early game, I want to be pressuring Russia as hard as I can. So what I like to do here, down here, we're going to leave this cruiser. So we'll leave this transport destroying cruiser. Again, I'm not too concerned about them. They're not going to pose too much of a threat. So again, I'm not going to be on water for a while. And I can withstand anything that Britain have got, you know. If they start to build transports, then I can just mass more in Germany, it's not a problem. So, battleship takes the destroyer, you would hope. I have seen them lose that fight, actually. It's rare, but it can happen. I take this tank, this infantryman, drop them off here, and then I'm just going to reinforce this region on the non-combat phase. So with this move, you're just giving the British player more to think about. You're hopefully going to take out the infantryman, then you're surrounding these troops from both sides. And the idea is to take away, you know, forces from Egypt to give Japan an easier run. Because as I said, as Japan, my aim is to try and take out India as soon as possible. So this just helps out Japan a little bit, and obviously it gives stretches the British player a bit thinner than they'd like to be. So elsewhere, I'm going to use the 3 to move into Karelia. I'm going to use this transport because this will be dead either way at the end of this turn. If you move out here or wherever you move it, it's going to die to these British, either the fighter or the bomber. They will take out this transport. So I may as well use it to move some troops to the front line. So we'll transport the infantry, shove them up. Now, obviously, we use that Russian strategy. So this is annoying for me, obviously, because they've not pushed forward, which means I can't counterattack effectively, and they've got 2 very solid regions. I don't want to take a fight either of these 2 just yet, because I want to mobilise my troops and push them into the east. So I want to have a big, when I do hit, I want to have a really strong attack and overwhelm them easily. This at the moment is a good defence, and I don't fancy taking on either of this. So we're going to just gather all our troops. Sorry, I'm thinking about the non-combat phase now. This is the combat phase, so I'll just double check I've done everything I want to do. Again, there's an option here to try and take out this cruiser with this fighter. I don't like to. I think it's an unnecessary risk, given this cruiser's not really going to pose too much of a threat to me. I'd rather have these fighters available to storm Russia. Now, I didn't lose a bomber in the attack, so potentially here you could start doing some strategic bombing arrays on Russia. It's definitely an option, because I think it's better to hit Russia rather than Moscow, because Russia, again, they have a very poor economy, so if you're starting to bomb their industrial complexes as well, it's going to only slow down their infantry production. So I think that's pretty much it. We could obviously ship a few more things in, but we don't need to. So my plan, basically, I'm going to stack, what's this province? Belorussia. I'm going to stack Belorussia full. The reason why I'm not stacking Ukraine is because they can hit the Ukraine from West Russia and Caucasus. So they can use, obviously, all their troops and attack here. So I don't want to compile my troops here, because they have got some strength. As I mentioned before, they've got some artillery, which is what I like to do. So they're threatening an offensive attack here. So I'd rather move somewhere else where they can't hit me with all their army all at once. So this is a bit safer. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the combat move. Just going to double check. Make sure I've not missed anything obvious. I think we're good. Yeah, none of these fighters in mainland Europe can hit the up here. It's only these two fighters that can actually reach this far. So, okay, it looks like it's going to be up. Let's see how lucky we are on the rolls. So, bomber raid on Moscow first. Okay, good, no hits. A 2. Well, every little helps as long as the bomber doesn't die. That's fine. So, take out the destroyer, hopefully. There we go, perfect. We may lose an infantry here. Okay, got lucky, that's good. This is probably the most key battle of this phase, of round 1 really. Okay, unfortunately we got hit there. So that sub's going to survive probably. Okay. Yeah, this is probably quite an unlucky roll for us really. I'm going to take out the cruiser I think, because that sub can't... Okay, the sub can't hit the planes, that's fine, so we'll try and take out... There you go. At least we destroyed the battleship and the transport. So, not a bad roll there, it wasn't great. I've seen better attacks there, but obviously they did lose more. And that sub's not going to pose a threat to us because we're not obviously going to be on water, so that's fine. But here's another good battle. You'd be very unlucky to lose this fight. There we go, nice and clean. So this is definitely a better move to do, because slowing down America in this section is great. You don't want American troops to be landing in Morocco. It's just a very big hassle to deal with. It just means you've got to be shipping troops away from Russia to deal with it. So this is going to obviously waste some IPC for America to try and rebuild these transports and slow them down by a turn or two, which is always good. So a nice sort of idea here is to... This region, Northwestern Europe, is quite a nice territory for planes. It gives them range into the Atlantic here. They can hit a few things, but they can also hit West Russia. So if they move from a 1, 2, 3, and 4, they can move back. So they can attack a wide range sitting in West Russia. Gives them a good bit of a good few options. So non-combat, I've moved the bomber back to Berlin. Again, we can hit Russia if we want to again, or we can hit Britain. It's up to us. I'm going to reinforce my troops down here. So we're cramming in Egypt now. So if they, either way they go, they're going to have a bit of a struggle. I'm hoping in a way that they go... What's this province? It's Transjordan, okay. If they go this way, it's quite good, because obviously they're leaving Egypt weaker. And that means we can start moving guys in. Hopefully we can sneak a tank through and start blitzing some of these territories away from Britain. This infantry I like to move up, just to reinforce. Obviously we've taken away the threat of the Americans landing in Morocco this turn. There's still the potential for this tank to land in Morocco, but again it's not a huge deal. If it's only one tank, so we can possibly go back and deal with that. That's completely fine. Now let's move everything up. So got the 5 in there, that's good. So we're going to stack Belarusia with everything we've got, pretty much. I'm going to leave 1 infantry in the Ukraine, so this tank can't blitz through. In fact, actually, that might be a modification to my own strategy. In a way, you'd want the tank to blitz through because they'd lose the tank. This would be a mistake, actually, as Russia. If you saw an opening here to blitz through, don't take it. It's a trap, because you'll take 2 territories, yes, but what will you really gain? Nothing, because the German player will take you back the next turn and you'll lose a tank. So if you see that happen, don't be tempted. Just leave it. It's not worth it, unless you're going to compile into the Ukraine, which might be an idea. So I think I'm going to probably just leave that. Actually, we'll move up as we planned before. Stack everything in Belarusia as much as we can, anyway. Move these guys up. See, Germany's term gets very messy. You can see by all the arrows everywhere. I remember when the update came out, actually, when they first updated the look of the arrows, they made them really thick. So at this point, on Germany's term, on the old arrows, it was just an absolute mess. You couldn't see anything. So this is post that update, and they've fixed it, so it looks a bit better now. So it's not as bad as it was. Okay, tanks up. Again, Italy's not something you need to be worried about, because nothing can hit Italy at all. So you may as well move this anti-aircraft gun forward. Because I landed a plane here, I'm going to probably put actually. I'm going to move out a little bit, so I'm going to put an extra infantry into northwestern Russia. That's 2 infantry there. I've got anti-air, and we'll have a fighter sitting there as well. That's just going to deter Britain from attacking and try and taking out a fighter for free over here. With they have got some aerial presence, so just be aware of that. Leave the anti-air in Germany. So we're leaving the Ukraine open, which is fine. If they want to flood in, that's okay. Which is actually, it's probably good for us actually, because it means we're going to be able to attack from all areas. We'll have our 6 tanks, I believe, from Germany next turn, and everything in Belarus will be able to converge in the Ukraine. So if they actually do take this with everything, that'll be quite a bonus for us. Again, just going to double check I've not missed anything. Looks pretty good to me. Again, it's quite easy to miss something if you're looking at this screen. Quite easy to miss one infantry that's sitting below all these lines. I think we look good, so let's turn there. Okay, so 6 tanks in Germany plus an artillery. What we'll be doing with Karelia after this is probably just going to be churning out either infantry or artillery. I don't want to be building tanks here because obviously I can still build tanks in Germany and get them into the fight quickly. Here I want to be building just the meat shield troops, so the infantry, the artillery, and so I can ferry them through. So the idea in this next turn is probably to try and hit West Russia. Obviously we're going to have a decent force attacking it. There'll be a lot of infantry, there'll be at least 11 infantry and artillery, and we've got some good firepower in the fighters and the tanks here, so we could take West Russia next turn if they don't reinforce it. Obviously we've got tanks sitting here as well, so we could wait another turn. We could just completely stack this up, so we could move more tanks in and just have a big attack later on if we want to wait. Again, Russia can't withstand Germany forever, so it's just up to you when you want to attack. So I think that's pretty much it. I know I'm leaving France open here. It's not a big deal. I think I probably should have moved this out actually, because I left it undefended. But if Britain take it, it's not a big deal. We're just going to take it back next turn. They would have lost a tank. It's no big deal. They're just throwing away troops. This actually probably was a mistake to leave this here. Obviously I was thinking about the fighter, but so just be careful about that. Moving forward as well with the further nations, as I mentioned in this video, there are variations to any opening, particularly as the Americans, obviously because they're the last to go out of all 5 nations. So depending on how the board's looking, it's never going to be a set strategy. You can have a preferred strategy, but if things go a certain way, you're going to have to react. They're more of a, they react more to what what other nations are doing. America's they're the last nation to take their turn, so you might have to be somewhat flexible in your strategy choices, particularly to America and Japan to a certain extent. But that's Germany. So I hope that's in some way helpful. Feel free to leave some comments in the section below if you've got any improvements or ideas about Germany. I'd love to hear about it. But thanks for watching. Take care. See you in the next video. Bye.